Hello, hope you guys are all doing well. I just want to mention last week's work, the exit ticket, was really nice. The comments you left were insightful. This week we're going to talk about what's newsworthy. The assignment is posted or will be shortly. This is just an introduction video. The classes will be still held live on Thursday. It's Thursday morning for me, Thursday afternoon late, I think for you guys, maybe 2 o'clock, somewhere around there. That will be when we can talk about the assignment, and we can all join in together and talk about what our thoughts are about it. But this is just kind of a brief little video to kind of show you what the assignment actually is. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so you should see my screen now. This is the assignment for the week. Looks like there's a lot of stuff, but really it's quite easy. Go ahead and hide this here real quick. The first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to open this document, which is called What Stories Are Important in the News. And inside this document, hopefully I set the settings correct where you can add stuff in here. I just want you to think about what news stories are important to you. For example, I put down as an example here stories about the stock market and skateboarding. And then make sure you put your name after it as well. Like right here, I put Mr. Page. You can put any type of topic that's important to you. There's no right or wrong answer to this. So go ahead and put your ideas down here. Don't overwrite anyone else's work. The second thing you need to do is think about what's the difference between information and news. What makes news different from plain old information? I want you to go ahead and brainstorm as many differences as you can think of, and I want you to put this as a comment in the actual class. So if I go out of here and I go back to the class stream, you will see that right here is a place where you can put a comment. Like, for example, this first class lesson that I have here, you should be able to add a comment. As a matter of fact, there's 2 class comments there, one from me and one from another student. You can just add your comment. So I want you to add here your actual ideas of what makes it difference between news and information. Once again, there's no right or wrong answer with that. Go back to the assignment. Go back to edit real quick. Okay, the third thing, I want you to review the worksheet that is included in here. And this worksheet is kind of important because it talks about the 5 aspects of what makes a news story newsworthy, like what makes it important. And so there's timeliness, proximity, conflict and controversy, human interest, and relevance. Go ahead and read the definitions. This will come up in every lesson going forward. These 5 attributes or properties, whatever you want to call them, they're going to come up over and over again. So really try to read them and try to understand them, okay, before you move on. Down below here, by the way, just so you see it, there's 2 definitions. One is called above the fold and the other one is centerpiece story. We don't really use the term above the fold anymore because the internet and digital media has pretty much taken over the world. I doubt that even your parents get a paper newspaper anymore, but that's what it meant. Above the fold was any story that you saw when they fold the paper in half, the story that you can still see. That is above the fold, the most important story. And that's really the same thing as a centerpiece story, which when you look down here, it's really when you go to any website, what's the first thing that pops up on the screen? That's the centerpiece story, the most important story for the day or for that publication. Okay, so if I go back to classwork, go ahead and close that. So go ahead and look at those definitions, review it, and what those 5 values are. The 5 values are. The fourth thing is I want you to complete this Google document of newsworthy assignment. And in here, what you're going to do, let's let it load so you can see it. I want you to find 3 examples of stories, and they can be from anywhere. A newspaper, once again, a magazine even, I guess. anything, or go online, obviously, right? Find 3 examples and think about those 5 attributes, timeliness, proximity, conflict and controversy, human interest and relevance. And then when you think about that, try to come up with, uh, you know, an alternative title, okay? Or headlines for those stories that you chose. And if you notice down below here, I have story 1, 2, and 3. Find the 3 stories, come up with an alternative title. And then I also want you to, once again, we're not really doing too much with the timeliness, proximity, conflict, blah, 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 quite yet, but we will later. Just come up with an alternative title for now. And then I want you to think about the target audience. If you go to certain websites that are targeted towards your age, well, the target population is probably teenagers. If you find a news story from a newspaper sitting on the coffee table at your house, the audience might be your parents or your grandparents. Every story has a target audience. Try to think about who the target audience is and kind of write down, is it teenagers? Is it adults? Is it senior citizens? Who is it? And then just kind of put that there. And really, that is all we have for the week. Once again, the rubric is listed here. I didn't really use the rubric in our first week's class because it was just kind of an exit ticket. But I'm going to use the rubric this time. So once again, you can look over it and kind of see what I'm looking for. If you do everything I ask, that is really just, a normal proficient. Or a 3 on a 4-point scale. What a 4 is, or exceeding, is when you add a little bit more. When you're writing, you're actually writing your thoughts in more detail. Listen, if you're doing a not very good job, or you're doing just the bare minimum, and when you're really thinking about stuff and you're really, putting down your thoughts and the details about what you're doing. And that's really what I'm looking for if you want to get an A or 4s across the board when you look at the rubric. Once again, you can go ahead and email me anytime you want, and I will help you out. I could even, like I said, meet with you live and go over it. But we will meet on Thursday as a class, and we'll go over this. You do not have to show up for that, but it really does probably help. Okay.